Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, thanks. So, welcome to our second training day. My name is Ibrahim Cicek, and I will show you today the technical datas, the datas of the centrifuges, the overview of the components, and we go deeper today into the centrifuges. We start with the EBA models. EBA 200 has a E plus control board. And now we go to the function of the E plus control board. So I think the setting of the RPM, RCF time is clear. It's easy. With these arrow keys, you can adjust the RPM or switch to the RCF with the RCF key. And with these two keys, you can set the time, the running time of the centrifuge. So we have the select key. We have on this machine 3 different menus. One of the menus is the machine menu. For the entry of the machine menu, we have to press the select key for 8 seconds. Hold for 8 seconds this button here, the select button. Now we are in the machine menu. Press the select key. And now we can see the info, like the information of the centrifuge. To go in this area, we have to press the select key. We have the model EBA 200. That's right. Of course, we can change here the model. No, later. We can read the CP firmware, the date of the centrifuge, serial number. We can store the serial number on the device. And so the next menu is the settings. We can adjust the acoustic signal and switch off and switch on, and start for the storage. Press the start key. Now go to the error acoustic signal in case of an error. We can set the lid open automatically or not. If the centrifuge is finished, the lid opens automatically after each run or is still closed. And you can open only with the stop open key, the lid, manually. Power save is for the background light. The blinking is the same like the acoustic signal. You can see the visual also on the display. The display is blinking in case of an error or after each run. The next, the time and cycles. It's important thing. You can read the externally times and the internally times. The externally times is the time of the centrifuge, and the internal time is the running time. We can read the starts. One starts means close the lid, start the centrifuge, stop the centrifuge. This is one start. And we have a cycle counter on this centrifuge. You can switch off or switch on the counter. We can also read the cycles here on the display, very important. This is as part of the maintenance. For example, we have here on the rotor the maximum cycles, and we have to check the cycles like here. But that's a part of tomorrow, the maintenance. This was the machine menu. And second menu is a service menu. For this, we have to press for 16 seconds the select key, hold the select key. So now we are in the service menu. We can read the error history of the centrifuge. The first one is the error code, and second one is the second error, the code behind the first number. We have here, we had here the error 4.3. That's the lid lock error message, for example. For example, here the error 61.152 is also an error code. I'm not sure. I think that is the frequency converter error. We can read the imbalance history also. What was the last imbalance value here? And the event history means when was the last imbalance setting, when was the last time setting changing. And so when was the last setting of the cycle counter. And here, the last one, we can lock the keys for the customer or for the employees of the customer. The customer can only start and stop the device. All these keys is locked if you set the lock. And the last menu is the select menu. For the select menu, we have to switch off the device, press these both keys together, the stop and the start key, hold it and switch on the device again. It was too fast. Now the select key, go to the select key with the start, with the select key. We can also read the version and change the version like here. No, it's not possible. It's good. The imbalance, a very important thing. We have here a Hall sensor detection for the imbalance. We don't have a mechanical switch or a micro switch for the detection. It's via a Hall sensor. Now I will show you the setting of the imbalance, but I don't find my white imbalance special white. It's not here. Mm-mm. Don't worry, I will show you this also in the maintenance part tomorrow. We can set the imbalance automatically, but I repeat, I will show you the setting of the imbalance tomorrow in the maintenance part. And we have here the setup menu for switch off and switch on the OEM version. That's not important for you. And the last one is a test menu. We have here a small test, a function test in the E+ control board. You can test the display like here. The imbalance act, for example, we have imbalance error. You can go to the test menu and test the imbalance value, the imbalance act. The RPM of the rotor, turn the rotor, and now we can see the RPM. It means the sensor works. Now we can test all keys. This is the acoustic signal, the beeper. It also works. Lid lock. You can test the lid lock, close the lid. No. It's a training device. It don't work. That's the issue. The lid lock don't works. You can check the parts like so. In this case, we have to change the lid lock. That was an example for you. The state of the frequency converter. You can read the temperature on the frequency converter, 26 degrees. The voltage, the version, it's not so important for you. Yes, this was the function test of the E+ control board. It's a very short function test, but the mains part you can check it with this function. And for EEPROM settings, that's also not important for you. You can set and reset the EEPROM, but it's not so important for you. So that was the E+ control board. Now we go into the centrifuge. For this, switch off the device, unplug it. In case of a repair, unplug it for your own safety. We have on the back side 4 screws. So we have on the back side 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, and also 4 screws on the bottom side. Remove the screws, and then you can remove the upper part, the white part. We have on the back side the switch on with 2 fuses. It's the small fuses. Noch kleiner? Ja, danke. Here, this one. In case of a voltage interruption or in a short, in case of a, if you don't have voltage, please check firstly the 2 fuses on the back side on the device. Is it okay? You can go to the centrifuge for the troubleshooting. We have on the back side a nameplate of the centrifuge. You can read the reference. It's 1800. That's the item number, means the IBA 200. You can see this, or you can read the serial number of the device, very important. Yes. And the voltage and the maximum kinetic energy. And of course, the manufacturing year. So, unscrew the 8 screws on the upper part. Be careful, because we have here a plastic part. If you unscrew or fix the screws with too much force, you can damage the whole of the screws on the plastic part. But don't worry, we have a fixing kit for this all holes. You don't change the upper part completely in case of a destroying of this screw hole. You can fix it with the fixing kit. It's available as a spare part. So we have on the upper part the sealing ring, the foil of the control panel, and this E+ control board. We can see here a nameplate. On the nameplate, you can see the spare part number, like here, E4133. If you need a new spare part, you can read the spare part number, the order number of the spare part on the device, on the component, or if you don't find the nameplate, you also find the spare part in the spare part list or in the repair manual. So we have here the lid lock on the device. So this part 1 is the lid lock complete. You cannot order only the motor block of the lid lock. You have to order the lid lock completely. We have also here a small nameplate with the serial number E4108. Of course, you can also find this. No, that was the order number. Of course, you can find the serial number, but the serial number of the components is not important for you. That's only important for us for the internally documentation of the parts. And here at the bottom we have the electronics. We have only one electronics here in the EBA 200. This is the main electronics and the frequency converter together on this small board here. We have also here the nameplate with the spare part number. A very important thing, we don't have here the black plastic part for the liquid protection. Where is it? It's here. Please install this black one, this black part that's for the protection of the liquid. And in the newest centrifuge model, in the 200, the latest revision, we don't have this black part, we have a foil here over the electronic completely. It's also available as a spare part. That's the protection for liquid. Of course, if the customer fill the tubes completely, it's also possible that the liquid flows to the electronics. That's only a protection for this area. I saw in the past also issues from the customer. They had here on this area liquid. It's also possible, but that's a customer issue. We only can say, please don't fill completely the tubes or don't clean with the liquid disinfection. The centrifuge, please clean with the paper towel, for example, because we have customers, they go with the liquid spray, for example, and clean the centrifuge, and the liquid can flows from here on the electronics. I think it's clear what the liquid do with the electronics. It makes a short break. So, very important part. And here we have the rotor. The rotor complete is also available as a spare part. You also find the spare part number here on the on the rotor. The maximum cycles, it's a part of tomorrow. The maximum RPM, and also the date of the usability. It's also a part of the motor. For the removing, unscrew the screw here. Now we can see the motor cover. It's a plastic part. It's also important, don't use, or it's not allowed to unscrew the screws with too much force. You can damage it. So, very simple device. Here on the back side, only one electronics, one lid lock, and a motor. That's it. 3 main components. Is a EVA 200. So, maybe last thing. We have, I repeat, we have imbalance detection via a Hall sensor. I hope you can see it. This black part here. See? Just a second. This black part here. Doch, gib mir die Kamera. This black part on the motor. Just a second. My pencil on my key. This black part here, now you can see it, is the magnet holder with the magnet. This is for the imbalance detection. We have on the electronics a Hall sensor and the device measuring the distance of the electronics to the magnet holder in case of vibration or imbalance. Now you can see the black part. The distance go higher or go lower, and then the device recognize imbalance. That's the short function. In case of a overload, it's possible that the black magnet holder destroy the Hall sensor on the electronics. It's impossible. In this case, it's not a warranty issue, it's a customer issue. They have to pay the repair. I repeat, on this case, like the error code 61.153. Firstly, we check the Hall sensor on the electronics. It's available. Yes. Okay. That's maybe a software thing issue. Is not available. It's not a warranty issue. The reason of the destroying of the Hall sensor is the customer hold the device in case of a vibration. But they don't need it because we have here on the bottom rubber feet. This is not only a feet, that's a rubber feet. In case of a vibration, the rubber feet gets the vibration and stable, hold the device stable. All customer hold the device, that's not good. If you hold the device, the vibration cannot go to the rubber feet. The force can no go and then we have a maximum imbalance here, and that's a reason for the destroying of the whole sensor. So that was the EBA 200. If you have questions about this device, please let us know or write into the chat. If you don't have questions, we go to the next device, the hematocrit. One smart important thing. We have here a mark, a nut here. That's a small nut, and also a nut on the motor shaft of the device. If you fix the rotor again, please make sure it's fixed. So, our next device is the Hematocrit 200. We have the same design. The upper part is the same one. We have also here the same control board. With the E plus control board, we also have the same imbalance detection, the Hall sensor. But the different thing is the rotor. We have here the Hematocrit rotor. And the next different thing is the sealing ring. You can see here. Here. The reason of the sealing ring is we can make 16,000 RPM, or just a second, 15,000 RPM, and at 50,000 RPM we have of course air circulation, and the air can flows from the sealing ring to the backside, to the outside of the device. So here, sorry. We also have here the spare part number 276. We have two spare part numbers. One is beginning with the E. E means a spare part of the device. And spare parts, or better say, the accessories of the device don't have a E on the beginning of this auto number. Like here, this is the accessories, this is a rotor. We only have here the number without the E. That's a reason. So we have here a small motor shaft of the device. Also, the motor cover is a little bit different. Now we go to the inside of the centrifuge. It's the same on the back side, 4 screws, and here 4 screws. This is clear. It's for the air circulation, because we have here more RPM. So here, one different thing. On this upper part, we have here black mats. This is for the noise. I repeat, because we can reach here 15,000 RPM. That's this device. And on this RPM, of course, the device is loud. So we have here the same lid lock. That's a good thing. We have similar parts. You can order, for example, 10 lid locks and fix it in the EBA micro or in the hematocrit. That's a good thing of the device. We have here different electronic parts. We have here the frequency converter on the front. It's a little bit different. And on the back side, we have here also electronics for the power input. This is the power input electronics. It's one part. On the EBA, we have only the black part with two fuses. We have here electronic complete for the power input. That's only the different thing. The function of the control board is the same. The same order number. We have here the same order number, but if you switch on the device, display shows you the type of the centrifuge. Firstly, if you order a new control board, we have to set the right version. If you have a EBA 200, you have to set the version of EBA 200. If you have a hematocrit, we have to set the hematocrit version. So the technical design is the same one. I think it's easy. And now we can go to the next device. Has also the same technical design. Now we can see the different parts. One of the different parts is the rotor. We have here our smallest microcentrifuge, the Micro 185 with the microliter rotor. We have here a different sealing ring because we have here how much RPM? 14,000 RPM. We have here the same control board, same auto number. The technical design of the upper part is the same, like the Micro 185. Same auto number. We also have fixing kits for the upper part. And the interior of the Micro 185 is the same, like the hematocrit. We also have here two electronic boards. One is this one here on the front, the main board. The second one is the power input electronics. Also here the same lid lock. So the same motor cover like the hematocrit, but different motor because we have two different RPMs and different rotors. That's a bigger, and that's the reason why we have here a bigger motor shaft. This part here, we say to this part the dock of the motor. It's also available as a spare part. You can, or the customer can destroy if he don't, or he fix the rotor wrong. Not like here, like this, like this. In this case, the customer destroy the dock. So now we go to the next device. Just a second. So our next device is our first and the smallest, not the first, but the smallest centrifuge with the hangout rotor. We only have here only have here one rotor. It's this with two different size of these tubes, 15 millimeter and a small one. This is the smallest thing out rotor centrifuge, the EBA 270. What means 270? We have on all of our centrifuges a number. The number means the size of the chamber. For example, here 270, it's the dimension of this chamber here, 270 millimeters. This is the number, the dimension of the chamber. So we also have here a plastic upper part. We have a different control board. This is the E control board. It's very easy. We don't have here service menus like the E plus control board. We only have here a one menu, this one. The customer only can set the RPM 40. That means 4000 RPM. The customer can only set the time in minutes, not in minutes and seconds like the EBA, micro, and hematocrit. We have here stop and open button for the lid. Stop is clear, start, and the pulse button. What means the pulse button? If you hold the pulse button, you can test the running. Hold it, the device runs. If you don't hold the button, the device stops. So open the device with the open key, not with the stop key. Mission Szene, ja. Gestern. Okay. So remove the rotor. The good thing of this device, we don't need to remove the upper part for repair. We only have to remove the rotor, the motor cover, and the chamber, and then we can go into the centrifuge. So last two screws on the bottom of the chamber. And we have on the back side also screws for this device. Switch off, unplug it. On the back side, we have also unscrewed the two screws here. Very important, if you don't need or if you not work with the imbalance sensor or you don't make a replacement of the imbalance sensor, please don't remove these two screws. You can see here the holes. This is for the setting adjustment of the micro switch for the imbalance detection. We have here a mechanical imbalance detection via micro switch. And we have to set the imbalance detection manually with these two screws. That means insert the white, make a test run. If this works, it's okay. If don't works, lose these two screws and set it again and check it again. So we're in the chamber. Turn the chamber because we have here on the backside two pins. We have to turn and then we can remove it. Now we can see here the same technical design. The electronic has the same technical design like the hematocrit and the micro, but has a different auto number because we have a different software version for the different RPM. We can only runs here maximum with 4000 RPM. We have here a different lid lock. That's also one part. The function of the lid lock is this here. If you close the lid, there's a closing state. If you open the lid, the current flows to here, the spool. We have here a magnetic field. The magnetic field make this here, and then the lid opens. The electromagnetic lid lock. So we have here the motor Has also a nameplate. We have here this red thing at the right for the stabilization of the centrifuge, because we have here a swing out rotor, and with the swing out rotor we have a higher kinetic energy. For the stabilization of the device we need a right. We have on the back side the micro switch for the imbalance detection. For example, in case of imbalance, I think you can hear the click. Yes. This device switch off automatically. This imbalance detection. That's it. We have on the this is the power interrupt, power input. Sorry, was also the same technical design like the EBA 200 with 2 fuses and only one electronics. That's it. You can work from this side easily. If you have to change the motor, you have to unscrew and remove the red metal block, and then you can remove the rotor. Very easy. So now we go to our last small centrifuge, the EBA 280. The same EBA 280 means the dimension of the chamber, 200 millimeters. We have here a very special device. We have here a special rotor, one hand click rotor. We don't need to lose a screw, only hold the rotor, and that's it. That's it. It's okay. Next slide. Yeah. We have also here a swing out rotor. A little bit different motor for the quick change system. But the technical design is similar, like the EBA 270. We have here a control board and the control foil. This control board is a M control board, but so it's better. We have here electronic board and the foil. The keys, all the keys are on the foil. In case of error or if the keys don't work, you can only check the foil. You don't need to replace the electronic part of the M control board. So remove the motor cover again. Yeah. We have here also different service menus. The imbalance detection is the same like the EBA, micro, and hematocrit. We have here a Hall sensor detection, the setting, the adjustment of the imbalance detection is the same one. About the control board. Different thing here is this here. The black one is a tacho sensor. This tacho sensor recognizes the rotor because we can install different rotors. We have on all our rotors a tacho code. You can see it here. For example, you install a rotor and the rotor can only make 3000 RPM. The device or the tacho sensor recognize and knows the rotor, and you can only set the maximum RPM of 3000 on the display. It's automatically as a function of the tacho sensor for the recognizing of the rotor. Good. The same like the EBA 270. On the back side we have here only 2 screws because, I repeat, we have here not the micro switch for the imbalance detection. We have here also the Hall sensor detection light for the imbalance. And screw these 2 screws for the removing of the chamber. And then you can remove the chamber like the EBA, turn to the right side and lift it up. So now we can see here a black part that is liquid protection for this device. We have on the side here, right and left, mats for the vibration and the noise. Remove the black parts. And now we can see the same inner part design of the micro and hematogrid. Here on the back side, the power input electronics is the same, with the same order number and the same technical design of the electronic boards. And my favorite lid lock, the same like the EBA, hematogrid and the micro, with the same order number. It's very quite easy. We have here a black rotor motor. It's very quite easy. The technical design is similar, only the size is the same, is different, and of course the components. But the technical design is the same. So I think we can make now a short break for 15 minutes. And after the break, we go to the Rotofix 32A and the Rotolavi 2. See you in 15 minutes.